All right, let's turn this on. Let's turn that up a little bit. A little bit brighter. A little bit brighter. Okay, let's see here. Let's go to the tube. Let's make sure this is working. GitHub. View my channel. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I got sound. Cool. That's important. All right. Wow, what's going on here? All right, we'll see if anybody pops on. Give it a few minutes. I like the color here. Put that over. Let's see. Change the color. Ooh, I don't like that. That's very red. How's that? A little bit better. Ooh, not red. I think the aqua is what I liked before. Hey, what's up, Hanniser? Just trying to get some stuff set up here. Playing around with color and whatnot. Yeah, I'll go back to white. Oh my. That's very bright. Okay. Turn that down just a little bit. All right, I'm going to be playing with the CNC here today. Leave it there. That should work. All right. Hey, what's up, soldier? Sorry, last night on Keith's Live, I was literally in the shower. I usually put on YouTube when I'm in the shower. I have a little rack in my shower so I can watch YouTube while I'm taking a shower, listen to some stuff. Usually listen to a Patriots podcast or show. What's up, Jax? Hank? Welcome, welcome. Hopefully everybody's staying nice and warm today. Country Joe on the Fish. Listen to that. I'll have to check it out. Okay, cool. Julia, Kenny, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I'm going to be playing with the CNC today. I'm going to be making a sign. So I'll kind of show you guys the process a little bit, and then hopefully get this thing fired up and working. It's been a while since I've used my CNC. I am wearing pants on my live. Yes. Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing my son's pants that don't fit him anymore. It's pretty sad when I can wear my boy's pants. All right, so this is, let me turn off those toolpaths for a minute. So this is the sign. Buddy of mine asked me if I could make this. His boss just became the mayor of Duck, North Carolina. And so I came up with a quick design with kind of the symbol for Duck, North Carolina. And I'm using a 60-degree V-bit for the lettering and the duck, and then a 1/4 inch, I believe it's a downcut bit to cut the sign out itself. I have this nice piece of cedar that I was going to run through my planer, but my planer's not wide enough. I could have used a flattening bit on the CNC, but I think by the time this gets all carved out, I should be able to just sand it and it'll be fine. I'm going to backfill this with, with resin afterwards. So he wanted black resin. I think I'm going to do royal blue though for this piece, just to have it stand out a little bit. See how it turns out. And then we can go ahead and preview this. Global fill color will make black. Reset the preview and preview it all. So that's what the machine should do, and that's what it should look like when it's done. Leaving some tabs. So that's what should happen. We'll see if it actually works. If not, I don't have another piece this big. So I'll have to get creative. Yes, son. Okay. If there's not one in the kitchen, oh, right here. All right, so that's what it should look like when it's all said and done. I've already created the toolpath files and saved them. And this should take an hour. Probably actually going to be a little bit less because I'm going to be able to up the speed on it a little bit. But we'll see. One thing I like about carving in cedar is it carves beautifully. Very little sanding is needed afterwards. So we'll see what happens here. Holy crap. Country drum dropped off in North Carolina, went down to the south, didn't make it to Sea Carolina. I don't get why you're talking about. No, I'm not going to print it, Julia. I'm going to use my CNC. So I'm going to carve it. So here's my CNC. Oop. Might have to lower that a little bit. So there's the CNC. It uses a palm router. And then moves it around much like a laser would or a 3D printer. So same kind of idea. And there's the piece of cedar that we're going to be carving. So I'm going to get this set up and then get the carving. It'll probably get a little loud because I have to run my my dust collection as well. But we will see how loud it gets. Okay. So here we go. Without further ado, I don't need that up here. I don't need that up here. Where'd my, oh, I need my 1/4-inch bit. Yeah, my Jenny. My downtown Jenny. No, this is actually my combination. If you have a CNC, the Jenny bits are probably the best. They're pretty awesome. So I don't need that right now. I am going to need that. And I got to find, oh, shoot. Where's that tool? I'll put that over there. So I've got the 2 bits I need. I'm starting out with a V bit. Oh, I got to connect it to the computer. Hold on just a minute. Unplug the CNC or the laser. Unplug the laser. Plug in the CNC. Don't quite have enough USB ports for everything. So do that. Oop. Okay. So it's connected. Nothing is sitting on any of the rails. We'll turn her on and open up the software that runs it. Connect to it and initialize the machine. I was going to lubricate it all before I did this, but I'm trying to get this done before football starts so I can watch football. Oh, I got to find that other tool. Hold on a second. Where's my bucket of tools over here? Right there. Probably covered in oil too. Used every tool under the sun to try to change my oil. Ended up having to take it to my mechanic because I couldn't get my filter off. It sucked. $400 to do an oil change. because that thing was jammed on there. I tried everything. It ended up ripping apart the filter. In the end, he had to get it up on the lift and use a hammer and chisel to get it off and finish the oil change. But me and my son, we spent a day and a half trying to get that thing off and progressively destroyed it more and more. Is that the right? No, that's not the tool I want. I want my Ford wrench. Where is it? There it is. There's the tool I want. I'll wipe some oil off of that. Okay, so I don't exactly have the right size wrench for the lower part of this collet. But what I do have is this guy right here. Okay, let's take this off. Sorry, this is the real exciting part. I'm sorry. I actually had to make a special wrench. Nope, actually I do need my vice grips. Okay, it's been a minute. I need my vice grips. I just got to get them set right. Yeah, so I had to, oh, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. Let me turn that a little bit. So 13 millimeter wrench, but I had to grind it down to make it flatter to actually fit up inside this thing. And the one problem with this machine, Carbide 3D, is it doesn't really come with the right wrenches. Which you'd think that'd be kind of a critical thing that they'd want to include, but it doesn't. Okay, there we go. What's going on here? What is going on here? Okay, I've got that. There we go. Oop, I don't want to drop that on the floor. Another problem too is that where this sets for changing out a bit, it's right in the wrong spot. Where they tend to fall on the floor. All right, so I don't want it all up in the collet. So that's whether you're using a router or whatever. You don't want to ever set the tool all the way into the collet because it won't tighten properly. And you don't want to put too much force on it. You just want it snug so it's not going to slip out. But if you put that tool all the way up in the collet, it tends to not grip properly. So we'll put these tools down for the moment. That's out of the way. All right, I've got my bit installed. And we can go ahead and load new tool. Zoom. Okay. So now what it's doing, there's a little push button thing here. It's going to push it down, push again until it gets to the stops. And then it knows how long the tool is. So now when I set all my axes, okay, cool. Thanks for stopping by, Julia. Hopefully I'll see you back here in a little bit. So, yeah, so it measures the tool. It knows exactly how long it is based off of how far this had to travel and then hit that button. So now I need to set my X, Y, and Z 0. I have my Z on the file set to the top of the spoil board. So when I cut through, it should only cut down to the spoil board. Sometimes it goes a little bit more and cuts into my spoil board. I got to replace the spoil board at some point. But that's why that's there. And then I have it set to the left bottom corner as my X and Y Z. So now I've just got to get it over yonder. Let's see here. Yog. So I'll do my Z first. All right. how close am I? Still got a bit to go. It's hard to do. A couple millimeters left. I do have a touch probe, but it doesn't work for the base. Now, so what I do here is I take a piece of paper, like this receipt here, and I put it up underneath. It's kind of like on a 3D printer when you're setting the zero on that. So as soon as that catches the paper, I know it's right there, and then I back it off just a hair. We'll go 1/4 millimeter at a time. 1/2 millimeter. So doing a little paper test here. Oh, I heard it. I think it caught the paper. Nope, not yet. This is super exciting too, right here. Now it's caught the paper. So I'm going to back that off just a hair. Actually, we'll back that off the full 1/4 and then drop it down to 0.025. Do half the distance that I just had. Yeah, it's just scratching the paper. So I know that's pretty much perfect right there. I'll go down one of these minor increments, and that's my Z0. So that's touching the base plate. Set 0, Z. Y. Setting the Z0 will immediately trigger a tool measurement. Okay, that's new. Huh. They've added some features to this. So let's rapid to Z plus 6 millimeters. It should be 6 millimeters off the board. And then if I go 1 millimeter increments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hasn't touched yet. 6. Yeah, it's touching. Cool. So my Z is good. All right. So raise that up a bit because we need to now set this corner. So this is the fun part. Now I can look right down here and see how far off I am. That's almost perfect. So I'm using Carbide Motion and Vectric VCarve. So Vectric VCarve to make the file and Carbide Motion to run the machine. Carbide Motion is free. It came with the machine. And let's see, let's drop the Z down just a little bit. Let's see how far off we are. So I'm pretty good in the Y. Let's see here. Pretty good on the Y. I need to move about 6 millimeters to the left. Again, I do have a touch probe for this, but it's not very good. We'll just put it that way. About 1.5 millimeters. I don't need to be super precise on this. As far as my XY0, I've got some amount of play. About 0.5 millimeter off. I'll go another 0.5 millimeter. But I want to be, like, my tolerances aren't too tight on this piece. I left about 1 inch on in each dimension for cutting it out. So let me set my zeros for X and Y and verify my file is set that way. Edit, job site, job size and position. Yep. So my XY datum is there. My zeros to the machine bed for Z. Cool. So now what I should be able to do, in theory, use Carveco Maker. Okay, yeah, I thought about getting Carveco Maker just to check out the differences of it. But I've just been successful with this, so I've been using this. One thing I did do a job a week or so ago. I had to flatten out a board for somebody, so I just made a rectangle and ran what I forgot. I've been using the laser for so long and haven't touched my CNC in so long is that you really got to get your zeros good. Whereas on the laser, it's zeroed to the home position. This, it's not on the file you create. So there was a little bit of a difference there. I almost want to flatten this. No, I'm not going to run a flattening file. This sanding will be fine. I should be good. So now I go to run this job, and it's got to zero it one more time. So I'm going to load this file, CNC files. Here's my G code. This says 43 minutes. So now if I start the job, it should zero out the bit one more time, or the tool. Insert the tool, resume. It should give me another stop to turn on the machine before it starts running it. Okay, cool. Yep, telling me to turn on my spindle. I don't know how loud that is for you, but hopefully this is going to work. I gotcha. About the beginner-friendly part. Let's hope this works. So far, so good. All right. So I'm only going down about 2/10 of an inch. I don't think I did a full 1/4 inch. Oh, hey, Max. I'm in North Carolina. Yeah, North Carolina. I'm going to step away from the machine a little bit, so maybe a little less noise. I know this microphone is pretty good at blocking out the background noise. But still, it's pretty loud over there. I got to get a better setup for my vacuum, my dust collection, especially the hose there. If I'm doing anything big, it tends to really stretch it. Just one of the fixes I'll make one of these days. So this simple sign made out of a scrap piece of cedar, I quoted them at $60 because I figured it'd be about an hour machine time plus my design time. Give me a little on top of that. I'm pretty happy with that. So realistically, for half an hour of actual work, making $60. I'm gonna get back into running the CNC more because it does pay well. Oh, I take it you know Max. I hope you heard that, Max. I'm from North Carolina. Actually, I'm from New England, but I live in North Carolina now. that's a nice deep groove. I'm liking that. You gotta be really careful with if you do have a CNC. I've done some stupid stuff. Luckily, anytime anything stupid has happened, I haven't walked away from it. But I tend to walk in the house, to go grab something, to use the toilet, whatever. And I've had bits that just grab and dig right into the wasteboard, and all kinds of funky things. Especially at the beginning of a job, I'm right on top of this, ready to hit the power button. Emergency stop. Same with the laser. Camera just a little bit. Gotta look at what's happening here. There we go. I could probably increase that speed a little bit. The feed rate. That's another beautiful thing about cedar. Is, man, you can carve so fast and so clean with it. I'll take it up 30%. Could have increased my plunge rate too. So, Soldier, you said you're using Carvel. You tried Vectric. If you still have Vectric, do you have the newest version? I've got 11 point something, I think. I haven't paid the $200 or $300 upgrade to 12 point whatever it is. I'll just wait till the 13 comes out, whatever it does. But one of the features they added that I can't seem to quite get to work well is that it's supposed to minimize the amount of movement over dead space, but the tool's not actually doing anything. I don't know that it really has done that. That was supposed to be a function of 11. It's more for when you're doing like a 3D carve or 2.5D carve, that it's supposed to minimize just carving over dead air. Like, I don't know. But I have found some tips and tricks to help make things go a little bit faster. And one thing I like about Carbide Motion, you have a free 90-day trial. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're using a version of 11. One thing I like about Carbide Motion is, and I'm sure Cargo has a similar thing. But like right now, I can set this up to 200% of what my feed rate is. So if it's going a little bit too slow, I can up that. Or right now, I can reset the feed rate, slow it down just a little bit. So the sound of it wasn't that great. The 130% might have been just a little bit too fast. Along there, okay. I love Carbide. Their customer service is second to none. And one of these days, I'll upgrade to one of their newer machines. This one is basically Shapeoko 3. They've got up to 5.1 now, which has, I think it's got linear rails and screws instead of any belts on the X and Y axis. A heftier Z axis, and some other features that are really nice. A bigger table. This one I can get about 33 by 33 inches, which for the most part it's everything I needed to do, but I've had to do some big projects that I've had to tile and get creative with. James Dean's Feed and Speed Tool. No, I've got this program. I think it was free. If it wasn't free, it was cheap, and it was a one-time cost. But it's called G-Wizard, and that gives me the feed and speeds I need for everything, and it includes the Shapeoko, which a lot of software I have found doesn't include for whatever reason. I mean, they're not like a top-of-the-line company, but in the hobbyist realm anyway, they're pretty good. But yeah, I've gotten most of my screws and feeds out of that. Well, I've gotten to the point now where I kind of know my machine and I know my tools, and I can kind of guess at what the right feed and speed is for just about anything. It's when I do something weird, like I'm going to carve in pecan, which is a super hard material, and I hate working with it, or some kind of other wood that I haven't used in a while. Or I might have to open up GeoWizard and figure out what my feeds and speeds should be. Only CNC. I'll check it out. Like, it might be even better than what the stuff I was using. So one issue I am going to have with this particular sign is because I didn't flatten the top. When I go to do the infill with resin, I got to be really careful not to overfill it, because like where it's covering right now is a high spot. I had it flipped over. I was going to use the back side of this, but it wasn't even close to flat. So when I do that resin infill, it's going to want to level out. So if I overfill, it's just not going to look right. I will have to send it to the planer, and resin just kills the planer, so I really don't want to do that. The resin part's always interesting. I used to have little, they weren't syringes, they were like little squeeze bottles that had needle tips, and so I could fill really easy, but I ran out of them. I haven't bought any more, and now I just use basically popsicle sticks and just drip into the spots I need to. It's not perfect, but it works. So once I get this all carved out, step it away to troll the machine. Hey, have fun, soldier. Thank you. Roll the machines. You at the casino? So thanks for stopping by, soldier. Always a pleasure. Stay warm. And I'll catch you on the next one. Anybody else that might be out there still, we're carving a sign on the CNC. It may be a little bit loud. We're doing a sign out of cedar that we're going to then fill in with resin. The resin infill. I'm going to be running my heaters most of the day to try to cure that resin as quick as possible. I got to find my heater or my air gun. Can't think of the name of it now. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please consider liking and subscribing. I do projects like this all the time. I mean, not quite like this, but I do random projects all the time. Trying to show some different things. A lot lately it's been my laser, but I've got my CNC, I've got my real tools, and a little bit of everything. Maybe one of these days I'll have a 3D printer again. I'm going to take a look at this. Hey, that's going to feel nice. It's a nice deep fill. Okay. Nice deep groove. Welcome to whoever just popped in. We're playing with the CNC today. Making a sound. Feel free to ask questions, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Washer and dryer guys. I understand, man. Absolutely, I understand. Well, thank you. Yeah, I think I showed you pretty good depth. It's deep enough that I'll be able to get the resin in there pretty easily. Um, should fill with a nice, solid, okay color. And then sand afterwards. We'll see what happens. Oh, hey, I got some more people here. So I was checking on some other stuff. Get radio silent there. Okay, or maybe not. Maybe it's just back to me. Yeah, I really should clean up some crap while the machine is going, but I'm not going to because I'm lazy. Anybody gonna be watching football today? No, I am. I'm excited to watch the Patriots beat the Broncos. The shop isn't any worse than mine. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. You watching football maybe at that time? Fair enough. I know not everybody's into football, but I'm a Patriots fan. I've been my most of my life. I'm excited to see him go back to the Super Bowl, assuming that happens today. Pretty good assumption. Yeah, I gotta figure out something for dinner too at the same time. So getting pretty close to being done with this part of it, and I'll be swapping tools and cutting the sign out. Then I think after that, I'm gonna sand it before I do the resin. Blow it out real good. Fair enough. Rather watch this than an NFL game. That's cool. It's not everybody's cup of tea. The reason I like football over other sports is it's the ultimate team sport, and baseball is just too boring to watch. Football has so much. There's so many intricate pieces to it. I mean, basketball kind of gets there, but just basketball drives me crazy. Hockey's fun. I really enjoy hockey. I don't know the rules all that well, but I like going to the local lower division games here. We try to get to 1 or 2 a season. And soccer, soccer's boring to me. Too many fake injuries and weird ways to extend the time of the game and everything else. Buckeye fans, huh? All right. Well, I've become a fan of Miami of Ohio, and as far as I know, they're still undefeated in basketball, both women and men's. Like their men's team is really kicking ass this year, and they finally got ranked. It took them until they were 20-0 to get ranked. Yeah, hockey. I don't understand the rules of hockey, but it's fun to watch, especially going to a live game, especially when they get into fights, and it's a good time. And the local minor league team here, I mean, we can get tickets for $20, $25 a seat. They do, they have like happy hour specials, so you can go get 3 or 4 beers. They aren't too crazy expensive, and just enjoy the game. It's a good time. Yeah, I love football though, man. I really get into it. I'm not like a super nerd when it comes to it, but I love watching football. And what I really like is my neighbor is a Buffalo Bills fan, so I get to give him crap. Well, I have been over the years, except for the last 4 or 5 years, where the Patriots have sucked. Now I can give him crap again. I actually thought of making a custom LED sign for my garage windows that face his house that displayed the records of both the Patriots and the Bills, so I could troll them all year long. I might have to finally do that now that the Patriots are good again. That'll be a summer project. Once I get done with the marching band props that I got to build. Shoot, I got to get to finishing designing those here. Start getting these going to be massive props. I'd like to watch the Packers, the Browns, and never be some Bengals, Bears, and Steelers. Fair enough. So you're an Ohio guy. Oh, I guess Cleveland. Okay. So my daughter's school, Miami of Ohio, they're like the official college for the Bengals now. And so she hasn't taken them up on it yet, but there's opportunities for her to go watch the games and whatnot. That's pretty cool. I kind of like the Bears right now. I hate the Steelers, always have. But I kind of like the Bears. They're just kind of that team that they're scrappy. They haven't been good for a long time, but they've been okay. Nothing against the Packers. Huh. That's funny. My neighbor right next door to me was a Packers fan. He lived there. Did she like? Oh, she loves Miami. Yeah. So it was between Miami and Rochester Institute of Technology up in New York. But Rochester wanted to. They didn't have a chemical engineer, or they didn't accept her into chemical engineering. They accepted into mechanical. And she wanted to do chemical, and now she's leaning more towards mechanical. So when she was home for Christmas, she's like, "Man, maybe I should have went to Rochester." I said, "You hate snow. It's even worse there. Although you guys are about to get dumped." I know she's expecting about a foot of snow over in Oxford. Plymouth County will work for your thing. Fair enough. But yeah, she doesn't understand, upstate New York where Rochester is. Man, they get some snow there. I used to live up around there. I was stationed there when I was in the Navy for a little bit, in just north of Albany in Saratoga Springs. Holy crap, did we get some snow? So we probably made the right choice going to Miami instead of going to Rochester. From the ground and expect another 9 to 4. Man, I wish, early in this whole, about the storm coming in about a week ago, there was some expectations here where I'm at in North Carolina of getting a foot of snow. I was like, God, I pray we get a foot of snow, because they just don't have the infrastructure here to deal with snow like that. And I wouldn't have to go to work for probably a week, because holy crap. But we got zero snow. We got a little bit of ice last night. Looking outside right now, it's warmed up. All the ice is melted. It's supposed to rain later on today and then get this immediate freeze. So it might freeze over tonight, turn to ice again, and maybe I'll have a delay tomorrow. But not really expecting much of anything when it comes to missing out on work for free. So this is almost done with this. Finishing up this letter here, and then it should go down the dock. Called the dock. Yep, there it goes. And then it should ask for a tool change. So it'll get quiet here in a moment while I do that tool change. So the snow blow clean up tomorrow's school. Yeah. Well, I know her school got canceled for tomorrow. Apparently, Miami doesn't cancel school all that often. But for this storm, they did. It's a good thing. I don't think she was really prepared to trudge through the snow to get to class. Although she's upset she doesn't have class. It's the first day of the semester tomorrow. She said, now we'll be behind and everything, and our professors will expect us to catch it up, and yada yada. I said, well, I'm sure you'll be fine. Alright, this should almost be done. And then it's just going to cut out the sun. One thing I like about using the CNC for something like this is it cuts it perfectly square, where if I tried to do it on the combination of the table saw or the miter saw or whatever, it wouldn't end up being square. And I get to carve into it curved corners, so I don't have to worry about using any tools for that. There are benefits to having a machine like this. So, almost done. Almost done with this part of it. And it's about another 10 minutes. And then the sanding. So for the Jenny bit, I think I have that set to 1/10 of an inch per pass. It's pretty shallow. I could probably go up to about 0.15 inches per pass, but I don't want to really push it too hard. So it's going to be about almost 10 passes to get through this wood. It's almost a full inch thick. And then I put tabs on there that are 1/2 inch wide and 1/4 inch thick, I believe. So I'll have to break later on or cut through. I have a Japanese flush cut saw. I get to use for that. And I'm going to show you how I kind of guesstimate and mix up some resin. I gotta find my heat gun. I have a brand new heat gun. I don't know where I put it. It's in a box. No idea where it's at. I'll find it. Well, I'll use my blowtorch. One or the other. Tool change without a changer. So, one thing with this machine is, I'll show you. You'll see the process. But it keeps the stepper motors engaged when I do a tool change, so the X and Y don't move. Then it remeasures the tool after I do a tool change. And since it knows where the X and Y zero is, it then does the next bit. That's part of the file. So I don't have to worry about any manual adjustments or anything. It calculates it all for me. I don't know what it's doing right now. I guess it's carving out the middle bit. Hey, what's up, Tim? Welcome, welcome. Playing with the CNC today. So almost done with this part of it. This is just widen that out just a little bit, and then it'll be done. Yeah, 3018 just isn't strong enough for that. My original CNC was an MP CNC, mostly printed CNC, and it definitely wasn't rigid enough for that. All right, cool. So it's done with this part. I'll make it quiet now. All right, now it should ask me for a tool change. Whew. I should have been wearing hearing protection. I turned off the spindle. So there it goes. It comes over to this spot here where it wants a tool change. And it's asking me to insert the next tool. So let's go ahead and do that. You know what? It wasn't. I'm using the wrong. It wasn't vice grips that I used before. Let's see if I can catch that bit so it doesn't fall to the floor. Cool, cool. So put that in my little box. Do that. Grab the tool. Insert it. Now, what I should do, honestly, is where's the lock button? Oh shit! God dang it! See, that's what I was trying not to do. Ugh. All right, we're going to open that up. So get that inserted. It's been a while since I've. So between tool changes, what I like to do normally, and what I'm going to do now, is actually take the collet out. Sawdust. Clear out some of the sawdust that's in there, because that all prevents it from getting tight. then put the collet back in. So almost hand tight. Put my tool in. Make sure it's not actually on the, it's just above the cutting part of it. So I don't want it to try to grip that. All right. Tighten her up. All right, let's go ahead and measure this tool. Past the mark of the blizzard of 78, 12.5 inches. Holy crap. 14 inches. Damn. Where are you at, Tim? You got that much snow. I got lucky. It's been another 9 to 14 around noon, but the radar looks like it passed at 7 p.m. Hey, what's up, Julia? Welcome back. All right, we're doing a tool change now to change over to my Jenny bit. So measures the tool. Now I'm going to have to make an adjustment to this. No, actually, that should, by the time it gets to the base, that should be pretty good. It's not going to suck up a lot of chips initially, but it'll work. So set the spindle. And we'll turn on our suction. All right. And with that, should be able to resume, and hopefully this works. My finger over the stop button just in case. I'm going to slow that down just a little bit. 100 inches per, or 100 millimeters per, what did I have it at? Yeah, 100 millimeters per minute. I think it's a little high. Gotta kind of listen to the machine. So I'm going at 40%. I had it set to 100, but I think that's a little high. Chef in the freezer, that's funny. Sounding a little bit off, but it's not too bad. I don't want to go too slow because then it just burns the wood. Yeah, I might have made that a little bit too deep of a cut. Like I'm really pushing that bit right now. But I got to slow down. Make sure that it sounds pretty good right now. And sometimes you just gotta play with it a little bit. Even if I know the speed I want. Sometimes it can be a little bit off. And I set this file up almost perfectly. Got the white part, the outer bit of the wood there. There's going to be very little of that, the soft part. There it goes. 6 miles from Dayton Airport. Oh, okay. You know, lots of Ohio people. Yeah, my daughter drove back to Ohio on Friday, try to be ahead of the storm. I figured she'd be fine on Saturday to leave, but her friend and my wife convinced her to leave on Friday. Stayed at a friend's house. So she's back in the dorm now. How long is it to finish? Right now it's telling me about 18 minutes. 18 minutes to finish this up. Yeah, normally I can drive it a little bit harder, but I did a pretty deep cut for each pass, so I had to slow it way down. I could probably drive it harder, but I didn't like the sound of it, so I just slowed it down a bit. After this, I'll be sanding it, and then I'm doing some resin. Am I making chips? That's the question. It looks like I'm making good chips. A very important aspect of the CNC, you don't want it to make sawdust, you want it to make chips. Sawdust doesn't displace heat, chips do. If you're making sawdust, it's going to just heat up. You can burn your project. If you're making chips, it should displace or remove more of the heat. Same thing if you're using a rider. I mean, this is essentially an inverted rider table. I'll be right back. I'm use the head real quick. All right, nothing crazy happened while I was gone, right? Hey, Keith. Welcome.
work as a destruction or sign? I'm not sure what you mean, Julia. Oh, yeah, Keith, you're out in the desert, right? You got none of this weather. What you said. I'm not quite sure what you meant by that, Julia. There should be about 4 more passes, I think, until it's done. It says 13 more minutes, and then should be done. I really want to kick up the speed a little bit, but I know it's working. Are you destruction or something else? Yeah, I'm not really into destruction, so I guess something else. Like I like to create, not destroy. So we might run into where I'm going to have to pause this to lift up the brush. Let's see. I think there's enough room. I probably should have measured. I think it's going to be enough that it's not going to push down on the plastic bit there, but we'll see. Man, I don't miss those days. I grew up in New Hampshire, and holy crap, we get some big storms up there too. I think my dad, who still goes up there, he said they were expecting 20 inches between today and tomorrow. They haven't had snow like that in years. I was hoping we'd get a lot of that, but sadly we didn't. We got a little bit of ice last night. Now it's all melted, and we got some rain, and it's going to freeze over tonight. It still says 9 minutes left. Should have updated. It should update on the next pass. I gotta check out this Dulcimer challenge thing. I completely missed that. I got plenty of scrap wood. I could build a Dulcimer. Maybe. We'll see. Alright, it should be one more pass, and then it should be done. Maybe 2 passes. We'll see. Yeah, so what is this Dulcimer challenge? I apologize, I haven't watched the videos yet. I know it popped up in one of my feeds, I just haven't had a chance to watch it. Okay. What are you guys using for strings? Yeah, one more pass, it looks like. Alright, I'll check it out. That's cool. I want to make an electric guitar on my CNC. But geez, if you go to printify.com, I think you can make stickers for pretty cheap using your logo. I'm not sure what other people are using. I actually need to make some stickers too. I know this order. Is this the last pass? Nope, still one more pass to go. It is, no, it's a, well, I don't know, it's a Carbide. It's the company that makes the CNC. I don't, I don't remember what the equivalent is. I know a lot of people swap it out for DeWalt. But it's their branded one. I don't know what the actual. I'm sure they don't make their own. They just buy them from somebody else and slap their own sticker on there. I'm gonna change the brushes out here one of these days. I'm surprised it's lasted as long as it has. Alright, this is the last pass. Yep, I can see the scoreboard, so this will be it. Hopefully it cut all the way through, all the way around. If not, it'll just be an onion skin left. That's easy enough to sand off. There'll be a lot less noise here in a minute. I got lucky with the depth of my little suction bit there. Hey, cool. It's all done. Turn off all the noise. Woo! And we'll take that off. I'm going to try to suck up some of this sawdust. Whew. Much quieter. Okay, so it's not connected. That's weird. It disconnected. Huh. Not open the port for your CNC. May not have permission open. Might be. Huh. That's weird. I've never had that happen before. Okay. Hopefully I actually finished the file. I didn't even look. I'm going to disconnect that. I'm going to reconnect the USB. See what happens here. Turn it off. Turn it back on. We reconnected the USB. Okay. I'm going to initialize the machine. Send it back. Then it's going to want to measure the bit, I think. But the sign's all done. I think it cut all the way through, all the way around. Yep, it did. Cool. So I'm going to leave that locked in for right now while I do the sanding, because there's no point in... Ooh, man, that got real hot. I definitely needed to increase the speed on that. So let's jog that back to the back corner. We can do some sanding. So, let's see here. Can I get this to where it looks... Oop. All right, so where are we at here? Oh, let me zoom out. Okay. There's our sign. I know I'm not square on that, but there it is right there. So I need to sand that down a bit because I got some high spots, some rough spots. I want to make that look good. Give me just a moment here. Grab my orbital. Where did I put? Oh, there it is. There's my orbital. What do I got on there right now? Some 120. No, I'm going to want some 60 grit for that. It's 220. Yeah, there's some 60 grit. Okay. And I don't have an adapter to run my Who's what's it there. Ooh, is this going to reach? Will this reach? I think it will. Almost. Yes, it will. I'll reach that far corner. Okay. Actually, let me put on some breathing protection. This is going to make a lot of dust. I got to swap out the filter on this too. It's been a while. Try to breathe in a little less of the shit there. All right, let's get some sanding. It would help if I plugged in. So,
I need to turn on the breaker. All right. So hit it with that 60 grit. Jump up to a 120 because I don't think I have any 80 at the moment. I might have some. Don't normally like jumping up that high in between. I don't need to make this super smooth. This is going to be an outdoor sign. And I'm going to be doing resin over just about everything. A little bit of poly. Help protect it. All right, I like that. Okay. Oh man, cedar carves so beautifully on the CNC. I love it. Absolutely love it. Let's see here. It is cedar. Whatchamacallit for the Whoosie, was it? Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that is cedar. It's a piece of local cedar that I had. This is going to be outside sign down in Duck, which is near enough to the beach. There's enough salt there. I think it'll last. All right. So there's that. So now I got to mix up some resin. I got to blow that out too. Let me kick on the air compressor. I got to find my end of my hose here. Oh, there it is. Where is my tool? Oh, there it is. Oh, man. Plug in my air compressor. What do I need to unplug? All right, I'm going to unplug this light. Spar urethane. Yep, that's what I'm going to be using on the top, just to help it a little bit. All right, I'm going to plug the light here for just a moment. Is that going to kill my... Hopefully you guys can still hear me. But I need this extension cord for my compressor real quick. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. It should be. While I'm over here, I'm going to clean out some of it. I got to oil the CNC, all the bearings. I'll do that during the game. All right, a little bit of compressor. Now that's going everywhere. Get that out of everything. Okay. And I may as well blow down the computer as well while I'm here. I'm sure I just got sawdust all up in my computer. Okay. That's done. Hey, bye, Tim. Thanks for stopping by. I can cancel the air compressor. I'm good there. Oh my goodness. Plug the light back in. There we go. All right. Time to mix up some resin. I think. Should I do the urethane first? I should probably do the urethane first, actually. Because that'll help the resin not bleed. Do I have any spray urethane? I think I do. Yes, I do. Okay. So I'm not going to be doing the resin work on this live because I got to let the spar urethane settle a bit. It's almost time to watch football anyway. this will help it not bleed into the wood so much by putting this coat of urethane on here. All right, I'm gonna put some more on just a little bit. All right, so I think that's it for today because I'm going to watch football. But thank you everybody for stopping by and hanging out. Ooh, let's get here. Hey, there we go. Thanks for stopping by, hanging out, and to those of you that have never seen a CNC before, maybe you learned something, maybe you saw something you like, or not. We'll see. And anyway, I appreciate you all stopping by. It's a good time as always. So, like always, go make something.